welcome to today's video where I'm recreating one of my all-time favorite crochet projects, this spaghetti yarn or t-shirt yarn bag. I wear this most days of the week, so I really want to make another one because I've also had quite a few people ask me if I make them, that they buy them, so ask me if I can start selling them. So I may do that. We'll go through the process of finding the yarn because I believe it's gone a little bit viral, this sort of bag. So Spotlight, whenever I've been there, haven't had it. So you'll see the journey of me procuring the yarn and then how I made my new recreated version. Alright, we are at Lynn Craft. So I'm gonna go in and see if they've got the t-shirt yarn, which I'm really hoping they do. Otherwise I will have to go potentially to the other Lynn Craft in the city. I'm a little far away from where we live, so it's gonna be a bit of an adventure to find the right yarn, but I really want to get something colorful that you can see, but that's also like a good color. So we'll see what they have. I don't even know if Spotlight have it. Like whenever I've been there, there's been very limited supply. So yeah, we'll try Lynn Craft, then we'll try the other Lynn Craft if they don't have it here. Let's keep fingers crossed that we find it nice and quickly. So unfortunately there was no t-shirt yarn or spaghetti yarn, whatever you call it, in sight. Oh, but there was a sale on, so I did get some things. I'll do a little haul when I get home, but I'm trying to decide now whether I go to the other Lynn Craft, which I probably need to, or see if there's a Spotlight nearby, and then the hunt will continue. Got halfway to the Spotlight and then I really needed to have a bubble tea. Bit of a impulse purchase, but Machi in Sunnybank, Brisbane. The best bubble tea. Alright, so I did not end up going into the city. The Lynn Craft there, I honestly don't know anything about it. Haven't been there before, but I was just not keen on parking in Brisbane City. If you know, it's kind of random. The biggest one is just like a spiral into the pits of hell. Just wasn't keen today. So luckily something did work out to be able to have me get the yarn today, which I kind of didn't think it would happen there. After going to that Spotlight after the first Lynn Craft and there being nothing at all. It was kind of depressing. I guess they did just have a massive Black Friday sale. But before I get into how I got the wool, the yarn, and where and what, I'll give you a little haul of what I did get from Lynn Craft. So to start, I got this 4 balls of this little cotton brown yarn. So it's not the more wool type feeling thicker yarn. I'm not sure what ply. Surely there's details somewhere. 100% cotton, 4 ply. So normally I think the other ones are 8 ply. This is a 4 ply ball. I really want to make that. It's like 3 granny squares made into triangles handbag. It looks really cute. So I got 4 of those and then 4 of a cream color because I thought they look so cute together. So I've got those balls in here. And then I also got 4 balls of this green because I've got a few projects on my list to make that. I mean, I've got a lot of the white yarn, as you can see behind me, and the blue, but I didn't have any of this yarn before. I haven't had any of this yarn before. It's an organic cotton by Maker, and this one I think was made in India. So I'll give it a go. I haven't used Lynn Craft yarn before. But trying this one out, see how it goes. And then, falling to pieces, the other thing I got, which you will not believe, is got my standing desk standing, so it's a little bit high. This fabric. So I love Deji Studios. Deji, I think that's how you say it. They've got linen dresses, super flowy, super beautiful sets. And whenever I'm at Spotlight, I never see fabric that I think will work for that type of style. But they had a massive sale on. Now, I'm not sure why this fabric was so cheap. It says it was normally, I think, $4 a meter or $3, and it was $2. So I got this Japanese cotton in this lovely, like, buttery yellow with blue and orange stripes. It is stunning. So I got 3 meters of that, literally just to add to the stash for when I do want to make that Deji Studios set, or inspired set, not Deji Studios. And then this one is similar, so it was the same price, and in the stripes again to make a dress. So it is just beautiful, and it's such a light cotton. It says it's 100% cotton. Again, I'm so confused why it's so cheap. If anyone knows, let me know. But it looks beautiful. Patterns are gorgeous. Can't wait to use that. So onto the spaghetti or t-shirt yarn. I'm gonna call it t-shirt yarn because I just saw it was listed as spaghetti yarn on the website. So I was in the Spotlight, and I remember seeing, previously I'd seen someone had listed spaghetti yarn on Facebook Marketplace because I'd been looking. And I was like, odds are it's not there. It was. I messaged her. She replied instantly and said, yeah, it's available and you can come pick it up now. So I went, and I was closer to home, so I was already on my way back to the north side. So I got, how many balls? 5 balls of spaghetti yarn and some random other craft things. And they are huge. So obviously at some point, Lynn Craft has made these giant balls, probably out of just old lycra, cotton lycra blend or something. And they're amazing. So I just wasn't keen on going into the city, so I don't even know if they would have had any. But I think they do just make this out of old, like, offcuts. Each ball is unique, made from fabric remnants. Yeah, so got a beautiful hot pink, and then a white. The lady said she bought them a long time ago, so I don't know whether that's why it's a little bit crusty, some of the fabric on the outside, or it could just be the part of the fabric that it came from. So got a lovely white color. Again, these are giant. Look at that, that's all material. So I've got to figure out what colors I'm actually going to make the bag. Then there is a navy, or a very dark blue, a grey, charcoal grey, lovely. This one feels a little lighter than the others, so maybe not as long meterage wise. And then this random one is stripy. So honestly, I don't know what this will look like crocheted, but I feel like this one mixed with the blue could be nice, because you do need 2 strands to build up the bag. So that is where I'm at. The other things that came with this stuff, because it was a mixed bag of craft, a capillary coupling straight. I don't know what she was planning on doing with this. Jewelry stringing, which is great because I've got beads, and then a bigger coupling thing, and then some random wooden beads. So obviously can't hurt to have some more random stuff in the stash. But yeah, that's what I got, and I'm so glad I actually ended up getting the spaghetti t-shirt yarn, because that was looking pretty bleak for a while there. So yeah, that's where we're at, and we will get started on making the bag. Alright, to get started, all you need are 2 balls of this t-shirt yarn. Now, if you have a really big one, what you can do is unwind half of it and create a new ball, because you won't actually use this whole thing. It's less than half, I'd say, so I don't have the exact measurements. But last time I used a ball that was way smaller, and I didn't get quite halfway. So that would be my recommendation. If you do have a smaller amount, as in your skein doesn't look like this, do go for the 2 balls, just in case, because we don't want to get to a point while making it where you need to tie off and change things. You can, but it's just a bit annoying if you've got that thing happening. Here is the bag that I am recreating. It's looking a little rough at the moment because I use it most days. I love it so much. And pretty much it's worked in the round, so you create your bottom chain, which I think I'll have to count the stitches, but I think it's 18. Decided out so that I can actually count the stitches. This bag is chunky. it's 17, so almost there. So 17 chains to start, making sure that you're using both of your balls so that it pretty much just thickens the stitch. So as you saw on the other side, it looks a little bit more like a bobble. On the inside, you can see that there's a stitch row and then like a vertical chain row. It does look fine that way, but I find I like the bobble side a little bit more, and it means that the bottom of the bag, even if there's a little bit of inconsistency with the width and the length, like with this thing poking out at the corner, it means you can't see it. It just smooths out all any mistakes you've made. And then you also need a crochet hook. I'm using the biggest one I've got, which is an 8mm hook. You can go bigger, but I found in my last bag that 8 worked really well for the 2 strands of t-shirt yarn. So let's go and create this chain, just making that slip knot to begin, holding onto the working end of the yarn to start. So especially on the starting chain, you want to make it nice and loose as you'll be working into both sides of it, looping around. This just stops you having to sew it up at the end. So making sure that after you pull through each time, you create a little bit more extra space. So pull through, create that extra space, and then keep going till you've got 18. So there is my starting chain. Then all you do is an extra chain to work into the chain before it, just so you've got that little bit of extra room to create your first. All you do is single stitches all the way back up the row and then all the way back along the other side. So making sure you're working into the V's, so either side of this V compared to the side where there's the middle loops. Good morning. It is the next day and I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night because I thought I was covering class this morning at 5:50, and then I rocked up at the class and the instructor was there, so I am covering next week. So I ended up doing the reformer class, which was good, but I was so tired. I'm like, lucky I wasn't teaching, but it means I'm up very early this morning. So I came home, I washed the dog because she'd been in the rain, so she's clean now, but pretty much I'm just going to tidy for a little bit and then try and finish the bag off, and I will give you a little update of the bag when I get to it. But yeah, let's tidy. This is where I got to last night. I've completed the body part of the bag and just have the straps left. One thing, well actually 2 things I will say. I had to redo it when I got to about, I think the 3rd or 4th row. I undid it all because it was just looking way too wide. So this one, I think just the type of t-shirt yarn it is, it must be a little bit smaller, and maybe the hook I used was smaller that time to compensate. So it just looked a little too wide. So what I did is instead of the 18 stitches, I think I dropped it back to 15. And then you can see these two are about the same size now. So I think it looks just a little bit better, not being super wide, just because if it is too wide, and it's because I want a crossbody bag, it would just be a bit chunky and heavy on the side, which I did not want. The other thing is when you are doing your final stitch of a round, if you can't see where to do your slip stitch to start the next round, because I began to have troubles counting it and then making sure that I wasn't adding or subtracting a stitch. So what I did is I just literally began just crocheting in the round, but you could still see, because of the difference in rows, that one side was a little bit higher if I was on the opposite side, and then I could see where the row ended still, even though I wasn't actively adding that slip stitch at the end. So I did that all the way to the top, and then when I did get to where I want to start the stitch, made sure you can see that that lines up the two sides. Yeah, so that did work. I recommend doing the slip stitch if you can, just because it does make it a little bit easier to know when the row ends, but it isn't the end of the world if that can't be done. So all I will do now is chain the length I want for my strap, and then slip stitch that chain in at the end. So I'll do that, and then we just work back and forward across the chain. Each time you get to the end, slip stitching a stitch into the bag, and then you'll end up with this. Whoop. Yeah. So here is the finished bag. I'm pretty happy with it. My crochet hook was a pain for most of the time. And the other thing was I had a lot of trouble remembering how I did the strap on the first bag I made. So as you saw before, I had a little bit of frustration. And again, I think I said I went back and forward, but it turned out I just did the chain and then one row of single crochet. It just worked out a little bit better. And I'm also very glad that I took it in and restarted that chain that I begun with, because it would have been like this wide if I had have done the full 18 stitches. So stuck with the 16, and then you can see it's really structured, nice strap. I think if I had have done another row, it just would have looked way too chunky. So I do like it like this, and the strap handles are quite reinforced. So they should be pretty solid. I think I will sell this one just because I don't really wear pink kind of ever. But I do love this bag. I love it so much. And it is very similar to the black one, which I wear most days. So yeah, I will list this one on my Instagram story and hopefully somebody buys it. Yeah, but that's kind of all. I hope you have a lovely day. Please like and subscribe to my channel, because yeah, it's really exciting getting a little community happening and seeing all your feedback on my projects. So have a good one. I'll see you next time.